I wanted to do a video on the Israeli elections, the Third Temple, and curses for disobedience. We had the Israeli election just 2 days ago. They're still trying to figure it out of who won. I was up early in the morning looking through the election results. The parties are blue and white, Likud. There's a number of parties that are all what I'll call minors, because to form a government in Israel you have to have 61 seats. Blue and white, which is the winner of the election, has, last I looked, they have 33 seats. Netanyahu's Likud party, last I looked, had 31. They lost a seat just in the past few hours. The Arab nation actually is the third largest vote getter. Now this is the second election this year because Netanyahu was not able to form a coalition a few months ago because of the ultra-Orthodox refused to support him unless they agreed to allow their people not to be drafted into the military. He wouldn't do it, so they said, fine, we'll walk away. That decision has really cost the ultra-Orthodox because obviously they're not even going to be part of the next ruling party. And they've lost whatever bargaining chip they had before, because there's no question that no matter what happens, they will be forced and drafted into the army at this point in time. But that's water under the bridge, and I'm not a politician, nor do I care really too much about politics. I care about Torah and the Bible and how it impacts upon our lives. And that's why I mentioned this. One of the things that was not known and really wasn't discussed much happened 2 days ago on February 17th, 2019. And what happened was one of the parties, which is Zehut, which is led by Moshe Feiglin, made an agreement with Likud that they would then throw all their support to Likud. Now, this may not mean that much because, as we've just pretty much discussed, Likud did not win the election. However, they're going to be part of what's called a joint unity government. And that's pretty well clear. But Netanyahu is not going to be the leader. And he's not happy with that, but that's just what it is. But to get the agreement with Likud, with Moshe Feiglin, you have to realize who he is and what he wants. He wants to build the third temple, and he wants marijuana. But an agreement was reached behind the scenes for that. So I think there's a huge issue that just happened 2 days ago in the Third Temple, and most of us probably missed that. Now, the other issue is with Lieberman. He is now listed in Israel as the kingmaker because his party is going to push and basically crown whoever the next prime minister is. So he has a tremendous amount of sway right now. His party is wanting to open up Sabbath to commerce, as well as allow transportation on the Sabbath. Because it is blue and white, which is the liberal wing. Liberal wing in Israel is not like the Democrats in the United States. We would consider them slightly liberal Republicans, and they're still very conservative. But for Israel, they are on the left side, or even you could say moderates. I believe that we will see very shortly a ruling that allows those in Israel to work on Sabbath. And that's going to backfire in a huge way. Now, let's read through the Bible verses at issue here. Deuteronomy 28, curses for disobedience. However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come on you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. Your basket and kneading trough will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed, and the crops of your land, and the calves of your herds, and the lamb of your flocks. You will be cursed when you come in, and cursed when you go out. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke, and everything you put your hand to, until you're destroyed and come to a sudden ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him. The Lord will plague you with diseases until he's destroyed you from the land you are entering to possess. The Lord will strike you with wasting disease, with fever and inflammation, and scorching heat and drought, and blight and mildew, which will plague you until you perish. The sky over your head will become bronze, and the ground beneath you iron. The Lord will turn the rain of your country into dust and powder. It will come down from the skies until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will come at them from one direction, but flee from them in seven, and you will become a thing of horror to all the kingdoms on earth. Your carcasses will be food for all the birds and the wild animals, and there will be no one to frighten them away. It goes down, and I think we really have to walk through this because of what we see in the prophecies if we are in the end days. The Lord will afflict you with boils of Egypt and with tumors, festering sores and the itch from which you cannot be cured. The Lord will afflict you with madness, blindness, and confusion of mind. At midday you will grope around like a blind person in the dark. You will be unsuccessful in everything you do. Day after day you will be oppressed and robbed, and no one will rescue you. You will be pledged to be married to a woman, but another will take her and rape her. You will build a house, but you will not live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not even begin to enjoy its fruits. Your ox will be slaughtered before your eyes, but none of you will eat it. Or you will eat none of it. Your donkey will be forcibly taken from you and will not be returned. Your sheep will be given to your enemies, and no one will rescue them. Your sons and daughters will be given to another nation, and you will wear out your eyes watching for them day after day, powerless to lift a hand. A people that you do not know will eat what your land and labor produce, and you have nothing but cruel oppression all your days. These sights will drive you mad. The Lord will afflict your knees and legs with painful boils that cannot be cured, spreading from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. It goes on and on. It's a horrible issue. And if in fact they turn away from the Sabbath and say we prefer the God of money and commerce, these curses are going to come on them. We can see from Zechariah 14 that when Anamasiah comes with the army, which we see here, if you turn away, I'm going to bring an army against you. When they turn away, the army will come and rape the women. What does we hear from Zechariah 14? It's the same thing. These are the curses that are about ready to fall on Israel. It's going to be horrifying. And it makes me wonder, and I have been researching it through the day and cannot find information on it. I wonder before World War II if the Jews that were in Germany started working on Sabbath. Is that why Hitler rose to power and destroyed them? Is because the Creator said, listen, if you don't obey my rules, I'm going to curse you. This should be the greatest warning to those of us in faith. These rules are not something to play with. And so, I believe we are in the end times. I believe this is all coming. And it's very unfortunate that they're about ready to build a third temple and at the same time about ready to do away by a nation with the Sabbath. And what's going to happen to them when they do that? He's going to remove his blessings from them. He's going to remove his protections from them. And then anyone can come in and attack them and destroy them. So this is an incredibly sad situation. It has not happened yet, but I see the writing on the wall, and it's a very sad writing indeed.